she's always been incredibly loving towards the children, and you know, she's very doting on the children and likes to keep an eye, particularly Charlotte. She's fascinated by what Charlotte gets up to.
In a surprising turn of events, Prince William and Princess Catherine noticed something very unexpected about their daughter, Charlotte. It left them completely stunned, and soon the public started talking about it too. So, what exactly happened to Charlotte? What was her relationship like with her parents before this change? And as key members of the British royal family, how did William and Catherine juggle their royal duties while still being loving and involved parents? Join us as we explore what life has really been like for Princess Charlotte. Princess Charlotte transformation. Princess Charlotte, once thought to be the quietest child in the Cambridge family, has grown into a surprising and delightful presence in the royal world. In a place where tradition and formality often come first, Charlotte has brought something fresh and unexpected: personality, confidence, and charm. Many now lovingly call her the sassy princess, and her transformation has both amazed and warmed the hearts of people everywhere. But behind her bright smile and confident behavior is a story of slow, steady growth. It's such a remarkable change that even her parents, Prince William and Princess Catherine, have been truly impressed. Not long ago, it was hard to imagine Charlotte stepping into the spotlight with such ease. She used to be a very shy little girl, clinging tightly to her mother at royal events, like she was afraid to let go. She would quietly nod, give hesitant little glances, and barely move without looking to her mother for reassurance. People couldn't help but notice her quiet nature. Many compared her to her late grandmother, Princess Diana, who was also shy during her early days in the public eye. Diana had been called timid and unsure at first, just like young Charlotte. Back then, Charlotte needed gentle encouragement to speak to strangers or take part in public duties. Even when she seemed curious or polite, she didn't fully step into the royal spotlight that was waiting for her. But something changed. Over time, the shy little girl who once needed her mother's constant support began to shine on her own. Today, Princess Charlotte is lively, full of character, and impossible to ignore. Whether she's confidently shaking hands with important people, helping guide her younger brother Prince Louis at public events, or sharing playful smiles with photographers, Charlotte captures attention wherever she goes. According to sources close to the royal family, it all comes down to how Prince William and Princess Catherine chose to raise their children. Instead of following the old royal rules, ones that demanded perfect posture, strict behavior, and early preparation for royal life, they chose a more modern, loving, and hands-on approach. They focused on connection, understanding, and letting their children simply be kids. Some people were unsure at first and thought this method was too relaxed for royal children, but it turned out to be just right for Charlotte. From playtime with friends and school activities to public appearances carefully planned with her comfort in mind, she was given the space to grow at her own pace. And as the world watched quietly from afar, Charlotte blossomed. That's when the nickname Sassy Princess began to spread. At first, it was a fun little term that fans used on social media, often laughing at her bold expressions or cheeky moments. But it stuck because it felt right. It wasn't about Charlotte being rude or overconfident. It was about her spark, the special way she carried herself, full of joy and self-assurance, the way she made funny faces at the cameras, gently corrected her brothers, or waved with the ease of someone who knew she belonged in the spotlight. Little moments made people smile and fall in love with her spirit. One sweet story tells it all. A fan once handed a bouquet to her, and she accepted it with poise and warmth, saying, "Merry Christmas," in her clear, cheerful voice. She had a way of connecting with people even in the simplest gestures. Charlotte's personality is a unique mix of both her parents, her mother's grace and elegance, and her father's playful humor. Many people think she's fifth in line to the throne, but she's actually third, right after her father and older brother Prince George. And even though she's sometimes overlooked just because she's a girl, Charlotte holds an important place in the royal family. She could one day become Princess Royal, or, depending on how history unfolds, even Queen. All of this makes her growth and confidence even more meaningful. As she steps more boldly into the global spotlight, her presence becomes more powerful and more inspiring. And at the heart of it all, one thing has stayed constant: her deep, loving bond with her mother. Behind every smile, every wave, and every moment of grace, there's Catherine, offering quiet strength, encouragement, and love. It is this connection that has shaped Charlotte's journey, helping her grow from a shy little girl into a confident, unforgettable young royal. So what brought about this change? Could it be this bond with her mother that has guided Charlotte's journey, transforming her from a shy little girl into a confident and unforgettable young royal? Let's take a closer look. Catherine Charlotte. Relationship. For Princess Catherine, known lovingly by many as the People's Princess, one thing has always mattered most: her family. No matter how important her royal duties as the Duchess of Cambridge might be, her husband and children come first in her heart. This deep devotion only made Prince William love her more, and their children grew up feeling safe, cherished, and understood. From the very beginning of her life in the royal spotlight, Catherine made her priorities clear. She once told Prince Charles and Queen Elizabeth II herself that she wouldn't rush back into royal work right after giving birth. She wanted to take time to bond with her baby and enjoy those precious early days of motherhood. To Catherine, being a mother wasn't just a task, it was her calling, something she embraced with warmth and determination. Staying close to her children in their early years helped lay a strong foundation for their future. It allowed the world to witness a beautiful connection growing between her and her children. One of the most touching results of this love is seen in her daughter, Princess Charlotte. Once a shy little toddler, Charlotte is now growing into a confident, graceful, and stylish young royal. While Prince George and Prince Louis each have their own spark and character, it's Charlotte's transformation that often catches the public's attention. She's no longer just the daughter of William and Catherine, she's becoming someone truly remarkable in her own right. Charlotte's royal journey began on May 2nd, 2015, when she was born at the Lindo wing of St. Mary's Hospital in London, the same hospital where her older brother George was born. Just hours after her birth, the nation caught its first glimpse of her as Catherine stepped outside, proudly cradling her newborn daughter in her arms. Wrapped in love and introduced to the world, Charlotte's path as a young royal had officially begun. The Lindo wing, known for its top-tier maternity care and famous guests, might have been the setting, but what mattered most was the love between mother and child. Catherine held her close with gentle care, showing the world a royal mother who was also simply a loving mom. A year later, Charlotte made her first public appearance during Trooping the Colour, the traditional celebration of the British monarch's official birthday. Dressed in a sweet white dress and adorable pink Mary Janes, Charlotte looked like a character out of a fairy tale. As she stood on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, she stole hearts. That simple outfit turned her into a style star overnight, and the shoes she wore, made by a Spanish brand called Layer Sure, sold out within hours. Parents around the world rushed to dress their daughters just like her. This was the first of many moments where Charlotte's style, guided by her fashion-savvy mother, captured attention. Catherine's own style, elegant but never too much, naturally influenced her daughter. Over the years, Charlotte has worn lovely coats, floral dresses, and soft matching accessories that reflect her royal grace and childhood charm. Her outfits always feel right for her age, classy, sweet, and full of gentle confidence, just like her mom. But what truly makes Charlotte's public appearances so touching isn't just the clothes, it's the love behind them. Every dress seems to say, "My mother cares for me." Catherine doesn't just follow trends, she chooses clothes that offer comfort, warmth, and a feeling of being protected. It's like passing on a gentle piece of her heart. As Charlotte grew, her personality began to shine even brighter. Prince William once shared that by the time she was just 11 months old, she was already showing signs of being athletic. She loved kicking a football and had a surprisingly strong leg for someone so small. In fact, the British Football Association gave her a tiny jersey with the number 1 on the back, a gift that recognized her growing spark. By the age of 2, Charlotte was walking confidently, and her neat little haircut had become her signature look. But like all young children, she had her challenging moments. During one family trip to Hamburg, when it was time to board a plane, Charlotte became overwhelmed. She sat down on the ground and started to cry. Catherine immediately knelt beside her, speaking gently, calming her down with soft words and love. It was a real moment full of honesty, showing the world that even royal children need comfort, and royal mothers are just like any other when it comes to their children. In 2018, when Charlotte was only 3, she had a big role at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding. She was a flower girl, dressed in an elegant white dress. Her chubby cheeks and playful energy charmed everyone, especially when she cheekily stuck out her tongue at the cameras. But behind the scenes, there was a moment of difficulty. During the dress fitting, Charlotte looked in the mirror and didn't like how she looked. She cried. There was even a disagreement between Catherine and Meghan about the dress. But Catherine stood by her daughter, made changes, and made sure Charlotte felt good in her dress. That moment showed how deeply Catherine cares, not just about looking perfect, but about her child's happiness. Now, at 9 years old, Charlotte continues to amaze her parents. At a recent school play, she stood on stage and spoke with such confidence that she brought both her parents to tears. Catherine and William watched their daughter, remembering the little girl who once cried on the tarmac. That moment reminded them, and the world, of just how much Charlotte has grown, shaped by love, patience, and gentle guidance. Every time Charlotte appears in public, whether in a pretty dress or offering a sweet smile, it's not just about fashion or being a princess. It's about a journey, a story of a girl growing up under the tender care of a mother who put her children first, even when the world was watching. While Charlotte's style keeps making headlines, it's the life lessons passed down by Catherine. Grace, kindness, and quiet strength that are truly shaping who she's becoming. And as the world continues to admire the close bond between this mother and daughter, another part of their story has drawn quiet concern and sympathy. What could it be? Let's find out. Princess Catherine's Health Challenge. On January 24, 2024, Kensington Palace quietly released a statement. Princess Catherine would be undergoing abdominal surgery at the London clinic. They didn't give many details, just that she needed time to rest and recover. At first, it didn't seem like anything unusual. She simply didn't appear at a few public events. But soon, whispers began. People wondered what was really going on. As days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, concern grew louder and heavier. Then the truth broke out like thunder. Princess Catherine was being treated for a serious illness. The news stunned the nation. Catherine wasn't just a royal. She was someone deeply admired by the public. People across the United Kingdom and beyond held their breath, hoping and praying for her recovery. As the world waited, Prince William quietly stepped into a new role, not just as the future king, but as a devoted husband and caregiver. He put aside his royal duties, canceled meetings, and stayed close to Catherine. Every day, often before sunrise, he would arrive at the hospital. Some mornings he brought her favorite books or letters from close friends. Other times, he simply sat by her side, holding her hand, reading softly, or telling stories about their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. His presence brought calm and warmth to her hospital room, even during her most difficult moments. There were no reporters, no royal announcements, no cameras flashing. It was just a man sitting beside the woman he loved, doing everything he could to ease her pain. Nurses and doctors who saw this side of Prince William were deeply moved. Even when Catherine was weak and tired, she seemed stronger when he was near. He was her steady rock, her gentle light during sleepless nights. But love and strength came not only from William. To everyone's surprise, a small but powerful force of comfort came from someone much younger, their daughter, Princess Charlotte. Though she was still just a child, Charlotte showed a deep kindness and strength far beyond her years. She had always been close to her mother. They shared giggles, secrets, and a love of fashion. Even from a young age, Charlotte looked up to Catherine, not just as a mom, but as a best friend. And now, in this hard time, that bond has become even more important. At first, Charlotte's visits to the hospital were short and quiet. The machines and strange smells made her nervous, but she didn't stay scared for long. She began bringing small gifts, hand-drawn pictures, little wildflowers she'd picked herself. And every time she entered the room, Catherine's face would light up with joy. Those moments became a routine. Charlotte would climb onto the hospital bed, brushing her mother's hair or talking about things happening at home. She'd share funny stories about George and Louis or sing a song from school. Sometimes, she would curl up beside Catherine under the covers, her tiny hand resting on her mother's arm. These weren't grand gestures, but they were filled with love and comfort. They gave Catherine strength to keep fighting. Hospital staff started looking forward to Charlotte's visits, too. She greeted nurses politely, just like her mother always did, but with a special sweetness only a child can bring. Her presence brightened the hospital and even lifted William's spirits. Watching his daughter care for her mother filled him with pride and a touch of sadness. He wished she didn't have to grow up so fast. During all this, people noticed something strange. Unlike King Charles III, who posted a video thanking well-wishers, Princess Catherine remained silent. There were no updates from her. This made people even more worried. Some began to wonder if her illness was more serious than anyone was saying. Online, people began speculating. One user who claimed to be a medical expert pointed out that her hospital stay was unusually long. Others joined in, sharing fears that something was being hidden from the public. But behind the rumors and worry, something beautiful was happening. Catherine was healing, not just physically, but emotionally too. Slowly, her strength returned. She began eating more, smiling more, and laughing again. One day she asked if she could walk through the hospital garden. It was a short walk, but a big step forward. William walked beside her, steadying her gently. Charlotte walked just behind them, carrying her mother's shawl and glowing with pride. Bit by bit, Catherine got better. And when she was finally well enough to return home, Charlotte made it unforgettable. She decorated her mother's room with paper flowers and a huge banner that said, "Welcome home, Mommy." Catherine's eyes filled with tears. Palace staff stepped back, letting the family share this quiet, joyful moment. It wasn't a royal event, but to them, it felt more important than any ceremony. When Catherine returned to public life, she was different, not weaker, but stronger. Her first appearance was at an event for a children's charity. When she stepped onto the stage, the crowd cheered loudly, not just because she was a princess, but because they knew what she had been through. Her words were steady, her smile gentle. People could feel that she had grown, not just healed, but transformed. Prince William, too, seemed changed. He and Catherine now shared a deeper bond, one built not just on love, but on everything they had faced together. They held hands more often. Their glances said everything. What they had was no longer just a royal romance. It was a powerful partnership built through hardship and healing. And little Charlotte came through this time with a heart full of care and wisdom far beyond her age. So how supportive is Princess Charlotte? Let's find out. Charlotte's caring nature. Princess Charlotte has grown from a happy little girl into a graceful and responsible big sister. Even from a young age, she showed a maturity that surprised many people. Some say she reminds them of her great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, who was known for being strong and kind. Although Charlotte is the only daughter of the Prince and Princess of Wales, she never acted like the baby of the family. Instead, she often took on a caring older sibling role, especially with her younger brother, Prince Louis. She would gently correct him in public or comfort him with a kind look. Charlotte seemed to naturally understand when to step in, to help or guide her brothers. Some people think this nurturing side of her may come from growing up as the only girl among two boys, but royal watchers believe there's more to it. They say Charlotte carries the same quiet sense of duty and warmth that Queen Elizabeth had. From the age of 3, when a photo showed her sweetly holding baby Louis and kissing his forehead, Charlotte's loving nature became clear. That photo wasn't just cute, it showed a pattern that would continue during many royal events. As Charlotte got older, her role became more visible. At the Queen's Platinum Jubilee in 2021, she gently stopped Louis from sucking his thumb. It wasn't just about manners, it was a natural act of sisterly care that was seen by millions. During the Trooping the Color Parade, when Louis got a bit too excited waving at the crowd, Charlotte calmly lowered his hand, reminding him how to behave in public, and he listened. At Queen Elizabeth's funeral, a very serious and emotional event, Charlotte stayed calm. She quietly reminded her brother George to bow as their great-grandmother's coffin passed by. This small gesture touched people everywhere. It showed that even though she was still a child, Charlotte understood the importance of the moment and what was expected of her. At many key events, like Easter services, Christmas concerts, and especially King Charles III's coronation, Charlotte has stood by her younger brother Louis, holding his hand and guiding him with calm confidence. At the coronation in Westminster Abbey, she helped keep Louis composed during the long ceremony and walked with him hand in hand when it ended. These moments weren't planned or staged. They were real glimpses of a young girl taking on a quiet leadership role within her family. Often, Princess Catherine didn't need to step in because she trusted Charlotte to watch over Louis, who is known for his lively personality. One special moment happened at the 2023 Easter service, Louis's first time attending. Surrounded by tradition and crowds, it could have been overwhelming for the young prince, but Charlotte gave him a calm, reassuring smile, as if to say, "Don't worry, I'm here." She even looked back at him during the service to check that he was okay. More recently, during Princess Catherine's Christmas Carol event, Charlotte again showed her natural leadership. She and her brothers went to a special postbox where children could send messages during the holidays. Charlotte helped Louis post his card with quiet grace. It was a small moment, but it showed how caring and confident she is, wise beyond her years. Experts who study body language have often pointed out how calm and composed Charlotte is. She rarely looks nervous and often copies her mother's gentle and graceful movements. The way she stands, looks, and reacts shows that she's already being prepared for great responsibilities and that she handles them well. As she gets older, Charlotte is starting to show even more similarities to Queen Elizabeth II. Both played supportive roles in the royal family and had a quiet strength that drew people's respect. It's touching to think how the Queen's values, kindness, calm under pressure, and love for family have been passed down through Princess Catherine to Charlotte. In many ways, Charlotte is becoming a symbol of the royal family's future. She connects the traditions of the past with the hopes of a new generation. And as she grows, many people believe she will play an important part in the monarchy's future. What do you think about Prince Charlotte's surprising transformation? Let us know your answer in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.